guys, I'm only Bear, and welcome back to more The 39 Steps. We are here as Honey Boo Boo, and let's see, we have 425 cards on event 2 out of 19. Alright, let's see. Wait, wait, I want to see what it said. An unlikely visit. Resolved to leave England for the Cape, Hannay's outlook changes as a mysterious visitor drops by. Bum bum bum! An unlikely visitor. Monday, 18th of May, 1914. Wimpole Street, London. Jolly good, sir. Would you like to come in for some tea and biscuits, sir? Oi, governor. So many good accents. Open sesame.
Hey, can I speak to you? May I come in for a minute?
I recognized him as the occupant of a flat on the top floor, with whom I had passed the time of day on the stairs. He was slim, with a short brown beard and a small, gimletly blue eyes. I can't talk British for shit. Oh, his hand was pawing at my arm. I motioned him in. Heh. Let me draw. Thank you. And so good. I'm the best at unlocking doors. No sooner was he over the threshold than he made a dash for my back room, where I used to smoke and write my letters. Then he bolted back.
Is the door locked?
Oh my god, he must have some secrets to tell me about espionage. What do you have to say to me, mysterious stranger? Flat building neighbor. He filled himself a stiff whiskey and soda and drank it off in 3 gulps. Pipe something? I sat down in an armchair and lit my pipe. I was pretty certain that I had to deal with a madman.
I'm very sorry. It's a mighty liberty, but you look like the kind of man who would understand. I've had you in my mind all this week when things got troublesome. Say, will you do me a good turn?
I'll listen to you. That's all I'll promise.
Pardon. I'm a bit rattled tonight. You see, I happen at this moment to be dead.
What does it feel like?
A smile flickered over his drawn face.
I'm not mad. Yet. Say, sir, I've been watching you, and I reckon you're a cool customer. I reckon, too, you're an honest man and not afraid of playing a bold hand. I'm gonna confide in you. I need help worse than any man ever needed it. I want to know if I can count you in.
What? I don't know what trouble you're into. I don't want to get killed with you. It's not worth my time.
Get on with your yarn and I'll tell you.
Oh, get off with your yarn, sir. He must have been American, right? Oh, movie time! The queerest rigmarole. Franklin P. Scudder was an American from Kentucky. After college, being pretty well off, he started out to see the world. From United States, he went across the North Atlantic to Portugal, then by train France to Germany, and eventually he went to Albania? I don't know. He wrote a bit and acted as a war correspondent for a Chicago paper. Maybe it was Greek or something. Tensions in the Near East. Balkan affairs test Europe. He had played about with politics, at first for interest, and then because he couldn't help himself. Oh, it's jolly good. Then he made his discovery. My car can fly! Near the border of Italy, I made a discovery that my car could fly. And it was puffing very much smoke from the car. As I stepped out of the car, I took some likely steps towards the cabin. And then I came into Narnia through this tree. Then I went out from Narnia through this tree and found a lodge. Away behind all the governments and the armies there was a big subterranean movement going on. Engineered by some very dangerous people. Oh, I looked at those two people, smoking cigars and pipes, with a deer head, on the fireplace. The sort of educated anarchists that make revolutions. 999! Das Bären! And behind them were financiers who were playing for money. This is good, good. They wanted Russia and Germany at loggerheads. Loggerheads, oh yeah, oh. World War III, everything would be in the melting pot. The anarchists looked to see a new world emerge, while the capitalists would make fortunes by buying up wreckage. And Scudder had himself convinced that Jewish men were behind it all. What? Damn Jews! So anti-Semitic.
On the 15th day of June, Constantine Karolides is coming to this city. The British Foreign Office has taken to having international tea parties, and the biggest of them is due on that date. Now, Karolides is reckoned the principal guest, and if my friends have their way, he will never return to his admiring countrymen.
I sat up for that, for I had been reading about Karolides that very afternoon.
Well, that's simple enough anyhow. You can warn him and keep him at home.
And play their game. If he does not come, they win, for he's the only man that can straighten out the tangle. And if his government are warned, he won't come, for he does not know how big the stakes will be on June the 15th.
I was beginning to get interested in the beggar.
What about the British government? They're not going to let their guests be murdered. Tip them the wink, and they'll take extra precautions.
No good. They might stuff your city with plainclothes detectives and double the police. And Constantine would still be a doomed man. He'll be murdered by an Austrian, and there'll be plenty of evidence to show the connivance of the big folk in Vienna and Berlin. It will all be an infernal lie, of course, but the case will look black enough to the world. But it's not going to come off if there's a certain man alive right here in London on the 15th day of June. And that man is going to be your servant, Franklin P. Scudder.
Oh, that was the man they were talking about. I was getting to like the little chap. His jaw had shut like a rat trap, and there was the fire of battle in his gimlety eyes. So my servant is like super spy or something.
Where did you find out this story?
I completed my evidence 10 days ago in Paris. I can't tell you the details now, for it's something of a history. But when I was quite sure in my own mind, I judged it my business to disappear. And I reached this city by a mighty queer circuit. Till yesterday I thought I had muddied my trail some, and was feeling pretty happy. Then...
The recollection seemed to upset him, and he gulped down some more whiskey. I don't understand this. He is Scudder, but Scudder was my servant. I don't understand.
Then I saw a man standing in the street outside this block. I used to stay close in my room all day, and only slip out after dark for an hour or two. I watched him for a bit from my window. I thought I recognized him. He came in and spoke to the porter. When I came back from my walk last night, I found a card in my letterbox. It bore the name of the man I want least to meet on God's earth.
I think that the look in my companion's eyes, the sheer naked scare on his face, completed my conviction of his honesty.
What did you do next?
I realized I was bottled as sure as a pickled herring, and that there was only one way out. I had to die. If my pursuers knew I was dead, they would go to sleep again.
How did you manage it?
How Scudder died. Alright, let's go from the beginning. Step 1. I told the man who validates me that I was feeling pretty bad and got myself up to look like death. That wasn't difficult, for I am no slouch as disguises. Step 1. Convince Porter illness requires disguise, makeup clay, too much, rip, gown. Oh, that's like a dress or something. I have run out of clay. Okay. Step 2. Then I got a corpse. You can always get a body in London if you know where to go for it. I fetched it back in a trunk on the top of a four-wheeler and I had to be assisted upstairs to my room. Where to find a corpse? Graveyard, Highgate Cemetery, transport, stairs. So helpful. Cabby. Carriage. Okay. Step 3. I had to pile up evidence for the inquest, so I went to bed and got my man to mix me a sleeping draught and then told him to clear out. He wanted to fetch me a doctor, but I swore some, and I said I couldn't abide leeches. There will be an inquest. Need to supply evidence, feign death, sleeping draught, who to administer. Step 4. When I was left alone, I started to fake up that corpse. He was my size, and I judged he had perished from too much alcohol, so I put some spirits about this place. Yeah. The jaw was the weak point in the likeness, so I blew it away with a revolver. I dare say there will be somebody to swear having heard a shot, but there are no neighbors on my floor, and I guess I could risk it. The jaw is a problem, my options are limited. A gun? Neighbors will make one loud bang. Not a great deal of choice. Right, last step here. I left the body in bed, dressed up in my pyjamas, with a revolver lying on the bedclothes and a considerable mess around. Then I got into a suit of clothes I had kept waiting for emergencies. Administer, shave for fear of leaving tracks. And besides, it wasn't any kind of use my trying to get into the streets. Final checklist: dress body, place revolver, change. 4. Leave no trace. This was how Scudder died. Whoa. Oh, that's the body. Alright, I understand.
I had you in my mind all day, and there seemed nothing to do but to make an appeal to you. I watched from my window till I saw you come home, and then slipped down the stair to meet you.
After blinking like an owl, fluttering with nerves and desperately determined.
There, sir. I guess you know about as much as me of this business.
Alright, let's do something. Alright, let's drink some whiskey. Whiskey is good for your soul. There we go. I was now pretty well convinced that he was going straight with me. It was the wildest sort of narrative, but I had heard in my time many steep tales which had turned out to be true. And if he had wanted to get a location in my flat and then cut my throat, he would have pitched a milder yarn.
Hand me your key, and I'll take a look at the corpse. Excuse my caution, but I'm bound to verify a bit if I can.
I reckon you'd ask for that. But I haven't got it. It's on my chain on the dressing table. I had to leave it behind, for I couldn't leave any clues to breed suspicions. The gentry who are after me are pretty bright-eyed citizens. You'll have to take me on trust for the night, and tomorrow you'll get proof of the corpse business right enough.
I thought for an instant or two.
Right. I'll trust you for the night. I'll lock you into this room and keep the key. Just one word, Mr. Scudder. I believe you're straight, but if so be you are not, I should warn you that I'm a handy man with a gun.
I haven't the privilege of your name, sir, but let me tell you that you're a true gentleman. Now, I'll thank you to lend me a razor.
You can't lend a razor to a madman. I took him into my bedroom and turned him loose. In half an hour's time, a figure came out that I scarcely recognized.
My hat, Mr. Scudder.
A new man. similarities. Only his gently hungry eyes were the same. Hungry eyes. Let's see, wait, can I do anything here? No. Differences. He was the very model, even to the brown complexion of some British officer who had a long spell in India. He was shaved clean, his hair was parted in the middle, and he had cut his eyebrows. Okay. He's a new man.
Not Mr. Scudder. Captain Theophilus Digby of the 40th Gurkhas. Presently home on leave. I'll thank you to remember that, sir.
Oh, he changed his dialect too, oh my god. I made up a bed in the smoking room and sought my own couch, more cheerful than I had been for the past month. Things did happen occasionally, even in the god-forgotten metropolis. Achievement unlocked, an unlikely visit. Alright, so yeah, I'll end this episode right here. I want to thank you guys for watching. Get us for I wish you find this demo dudes, and until next time, hasta luego.